Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the ALTCOIN Express and my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida. So this will be an update, overview, and many other things. We'll leave the $1 million challenge till afterwards. Let's start off with the big coins. Now, I'm on tradingview.com. It's a website that you can upload data from coins on. And we're looking at Ethereum. I have two moving averages. One's a 30-day, one's a 180-day. I've changed the 180-day from time to time. And we are looking at we can't go out here a bit. So this is the whole of Ethereum, and we're in its local range. So I'm putting its local range of incline up there. Okay, so this is local range of incline from where it really started to go up. The absolute bottom may have been over here, but this is when it's really started its climb, and its current climb. It's going up at the rate of about 3.3% over this range over those days. So we can see it is currently overbought. This caused a dramatic, unpleasant event as Ethereum went up staggeringly in the last day. Most of the altcoins got dumped, as did mine. Not quite pleasant. So that's one of the two boys. The other one is, let me show you something. It's kind of bright. There's lots of data here. There's lots to go through. It's very informative. You need to do a lot of work to be successful in this business, I think. I just got to find my various data, because I do lots of math data. Is it gone? No, there it is. Okay, now this is the Ethereum to Bitcoin data. I take it from the beginning, and I've taken various data points along the way. And generally speaking, this is the spread of the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum tends to outperform Bitcoin. I don't have the latest rush up here. So this is the current Ethereum track up to a day or so ago, and this is the spread between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So Ethereum is tending to outperform Bitcoin. It obviously is tracking parallel on the downside, and on the upside it's making some gains. So we'll see how that goes forward. So that's those. Let's put the light back on. I sit in front of a 32-inch flat screen, and this brightness can fry my eyes if I don't keep adjusting it. So let's go and look at the other one, the other major. Everybody follows, well, actually Ethereum is not following Bitcoin in regard to its percentage. It's following it as to whether it's going up or down in general. So this is the local range. We can look at the same thing for Bitcoin just briefly. So it started off back here, did its big upside, and then came down here. If you plot the average through the whole range, you're going to get a percentage, but I haven't done that for this coin. So let's go back to my favorite 30-minute window. This noise down here is a volume index, which shows you where the buys to the sells are changing. So Bitcoin had this big dump the other day for no reason whatsoever. This is its recent trading range over the last few days, and it's staying in its range. Got a little bit overbought there, sold off, came down to its range, and then for some other reason just dumped the shit out of it, because people decided, I guess, they wanted to take profit. So so Bitcoin is looking to recover its position into the local range, which is what I've set relative to these peaks here, and it's got some ways to go. It's got a long way to go before it even comes anywhere near thinking about tracking 10,000. So that's that. Let me stop for a minute and think what I'm doing. Okay, we'll look at my current position. Oh, God, I hate this. It really trips my eyes out. Okay, I'll move over to my current position. Well, let's deal with the $1 million challenge thing. So I've set this now at 2 years. I'm trying to get money in there, uploading 15,000, but the stupid Binance bank, I got 2 wires in that went in okay. The third wire came back and said your account number doesn't exist. The fourth wire went in there. It got dumped somewhere where they couldn't recognize it. So I'm trying to get these people to sort their shit out. And if they don't sort their shit out, then I'm not going to put the 15,000 in there. Screw it. I'm not going to go back and have to. They want me to send the money back to the bank so I can send it back to them again. Well, I'm not doing that. If they don't get it in, then I'm not going to put it in. There's more than enough money there to make a fortune with. So it doesn't really matter what the number is here. It comes out to you find a value that, well, for me anyway, I'm just looking to how to do this. This is just a fun game, but it's not so much a fun game. I haven't got that quite pegged up yet. I've been massaging that number. This corresponding number here is how much literal gain in dollars per day you'd have to make to get it up to $1 million. And it just so happens to be $1,313. Now this is additive, this is accumulative. That is, you get the X% more of everything you've got once you buy and sell, so to speak. This is additive. Now here's something instructive. The break-off point, the break point, have I got it up here somewhere? Unless I've trashed it. The break point is 300,000. Is that it? This is, pause for a minute. There's a lot of data here. Okay, I've worked out what I'm doing. Now, as far as accumulation, like if you had a salary per day, so we have my million target minus 41,000 divided over the period of 2 years, 730 days gives you this number, 1,313. Now, if you made $1,313 a day for 2 years, you'd end up with the million starting from 40,000. Now, here's the interesting aspect to this number. I want to find where the cutoff is, where the average amount that you get relative to the amount you've got. Let me just run through the numbers. It's easy that way. 300,000, that's on the cumulative. Don't pay attention to that number. That's the percentage going to get to there. Now, it so happens that when you're on 300,000 and you get that percent per day, that's how much it is. That's the 313. It just happens to be 315. So this is the break-even point. When, if you're taking this as your need to get where you're going, that is the break-even point. And it will be when you've accumulated a staggering amount of 638,000 cumulative. Now this is where the interesting bit comes in. This is where the break-even is. And above this amount, this number goes up. Now it's taken 455 days to get this little experiment up to 300,000, the number at which this number becomes greater than the average for the year. Now you look at this is staggering. Here we go. 365. Well, there's 730. You go from 300,000 on this little expedition down here to 1 million in a fraction amount of the time that you go up here. I like playing with numbers. So here we have our 730 minus 455. So it takes in principle, based on this rate, 275 days to go from 300,000 to 1 million, and 455 days to go from 41,000 to 300,000. Now this hypothetical need for the gain every day is going to escalate up to this point, in which case it will titrate out. Oops, sorry about that. So here's where I am. You can ignore most of the data on here. Everything above the blue line and on this side is of significance. Now, some things happened. I don't want to get into it. I ended up down relative to about 33,000. I'd done some trades, and I've gotten back on paper to where I was, basically, and until the other day when this big dump went down. So that would then give me back my former gain of 7,300 and 7,300 and change. So that is that bit. Well, let's go and look at the coins and deal with when that's going to get back. You just leave it there. So I've got 2 coins right now. One of them is not on here. We'll go and look at those. So we're looking at Verge XVG, which I've been following for a while, as a potential interesting candidate. The bottom line is its average upgrade line. It turns out to be, I've trashed the numbers, but it's about 3.26, or it's a bit below that, I think, 2.8. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, this is its average uprise. After I found the bottom, I made some gains on it. Oops, very bright. I made some gains here, so I picked up 2.6. And this is based on the Ethereum number here, so that would be relative, because it changes with the number. So we'll say I picked up about 4 grand on there, give or take. And then yesterday Ethereum went absolute apeshit and all of the altcoins dumped. So that was just wonderful. So this is its current trading range based on, this is its long range up line, and this is the drop a line from its former peak to somewhere up the next peak, just to see where that comes. So I've drawn this line out here. That's where my top buy-in is. So within this framework of range, it's going to be, this is the time frames for recovery, sort of. So we're in 4, we're in 3, 4, 5, 6, so somewhere in 6. It's about, so somewhere in about 3 days, if it goes up through its normal window, it gets out. That's hypothetically, but it'll get out eventually. And it has humongous upside. We can see the kind of jumps it goes through. This was literally a 20-odd%, so I'm kind of waiting for one of those to happen. And I've got one other coin in which there's $1,000 that I can't get out because it dumped, so we'll just leave it there. So one strategy evolves with experience, and experience does kind of help to get your brain to tell you to do this now, do that now. So once again, over the range from the start up to recent times, I've tracked the important coins. That's Cardano, ADA, Ontology, ESO, Trex is, can't remember it, and there's another one that's coming into the range. Now, yesterday's big upside by Ethereum and the dump by the altcoins kind of shook me up. Wasn't expecting it. So I'm evolving a new strategy which will be 50% in Ethereum, 50% in altcoin, because nothing is going up much faster than Ethereum. And to kind of help with that dump, when it does happen, kind of find a coin at the bottom to enable you to buy into and transition the upside of that to the regression of Ethereum from its overbought position. That's the general theory. You have to work at this. I mean, you know, you're not going to make a ton of money on this unless you've got some intelligence. I've got a very high IQ. ballpark 140, and I've got a PhD as well, and I've got a numbers gene. I like numbers. So this tracks these various coins down here to see how they're performing. Ontology is the current leader of the pack, and EOS is the second primary leader that is outperforming Ethereum. These numbers are taken from the very first day when it started to go up, so they're real relative. So those are the two important coins. These are lesser lights. And I track here the difference between, once again, I've got to stop and think what this is. And this just tracks the percentage difference between the position of the coin and where Ethereum is. It shows this is the range difference. It kind of follows the same pathway. Well, Ontology has a very similar path, which shows it's really tracking close to its normal position. Some of them vary. So here, a green EOS is very similar to its other one over there. Some of the others are not quite the same. So I kind of do that to get some perspective of what's happening when Ethereum goes up and these go up or don't go up, get some information out of it. So based on that current model, with Ethereum up, expected to kind of give up some of its gains, it may not. One could take a certain percentage or all of that and buy into the current coin expected to be going up, which is Verge, and then titrate the two. That's the theory, anyway. Doing things in practice is another matter. And things just happen. I mean, on the fly, the other day, for instance, let me just find it. It's a business of watching what's going on. I just happened to wander into this. I'd had to sleep, woke up, and Ontology just shot up 23%. I happened to be coming into it in its top window. Well, I didn't think twice about it. I did look around a little bit and immediately sold off my little bit. I only had $4,000 in there, and that immediate sell-off gave me $1,000. I mean, it can extend its range. So back on Ontology, or still on Ontology, either way. So I've dropped a bottom line from where it started to take off early April up to its current low here. You can pick any way you want to put these lines in, I guess, but I just happen to pick this point here. And respectives to the top of here, which I've kind of picked up from that point, and with a range above here at about the same. Because this is probably overbought. I mean, obviously Ontology is having humongous swings. This is when it went to its dip. It was at the relatively same value as Ethereum in terms of percentage gain, and then it's gone rocketing ahead. So it's finding its current range. It overbought there, oversold here, and is back in some kind of a range, of which it just spiked the shit out of and then came back down. So that's that. So let's briefly take a look at the only other coin that is outperforming Ethereum, which is EOS. You can put these lines wherever you want, I guess. I started where it started to go up, picked a couple of minor points, and somewhere in the lower edge of its range. There's no way knowing where this line really is in terms of overbought, oversold kind of thing. And it's clearly oversold here, overbought here staggeringly. So I just popped in this line from the top of here to somewhere. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's paralleling this, then it has some meaning. It's kind of a pseudo range. And let's pop it back to the 30-minute window. Oops. Damn it. What happened there? Go back. Oh, crap. Oh, mother crap. Oh, son of a bitch. I gotta sort this screw up out. Okay, back on the 30-minute window. So there's nothing absolute about these, it's just a feel for where they are. It's obviously been oversold, overbought, and it's having a sell-off until it feels comfortable, and that will be that. The point about these is that you can see where they're being oversold. You take a drop line from your center of your up running line, and when it gets to be completely overbought, you just kind of get some indication of that. So that's the number 2 coin. So we're finished with a look at the big picture. The big picture asks the big question: where is it all going? Well, this is the overview of Bitcoin since it started its major rise early mid 2017. Well, once again, it's up to anyone's guess. I've got this one line drawn out to June to see if it will reach a certain value, but we might say that this is its next resistance level. There's obviously a curiosity at 10,000. It would love to get above 10,000, and it's struggling to do that. After that, then who knows? But there's one thing for sure: there's no way it's ever going to go down in a big sense of the word. I think that is over. This has only got an upside. It may have sell-offs, but it's got an upside. So with that said, that's where that sort of is going. And with Ethereum, having a look at Ethereum in the same sense of the word, there's its range of increase from its current, like knocking 700, which it got through the other day. If this range holds, because there's a lot of ifs there, blow it up a bit. If this range holds, my question was, how long will it take to get to above? It's 50% up from its current position, or from 700. So you can play with these. Doesn't mean anything, but it's 1,050 up to. So there's 1,050. It's kind of shutting in on that a bit, so we'll wander out as a guesstimate. On its current pathway, it's sort of looking to mid-June. Where are we? I don't like these things down there. It's sort of looking towards mid-June to make a 50% upside from its current position. If it keeps going at this rate, well, that's over a month. And Bitcoin will go up, and when Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, and everything else does or doesn't go up, but whatever. So that's the big picture, and we'll return to me for 1 second. So I'm currently waiting for Verge's recovery. This is the big picture of Verge. I've got it in 4 hours. Let's drop it back down to its 30 minutes. And that's the kind of current range that we're in. It's had this sell-off, and I'm just going to sit around here, do nothing, and wait till it gets back up there. Then I can sell off and work out what my money is and take it from there. So we're in a holding pattern right now till this decides what it's going to do. But it will eventually sort itself out, find a bottom, and then make its way up here. So that is a complete overview of everything in regard to what I'm doing, the $1 million challenge, so to speak, and the current perspectives of the near term, what's happening and what's going to happen. Hope you find that interesting. Talk to you next time.